Hey everybody, welcome back to Investing with Wesley. In today's episode, I want to go over a couple different options that you have when it comes to opening up your own brokerage accounts. And I don't mean investment-wise, I mean actual account-wise. In today's episode, I'm going to be tackling which one of the many robo-investors I think is the best and for what purposes. Now, just to clarify, I'm not going to bring up really big established companies like E-Trade or TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. I'm not going to bring those up. I'm going to bring up some of the smaller ones that are still well known and go into details on which one of those are the best. And the reason I'm breaking these ones down is because I think everyone starts out with some of these little ones like Robinhood, but will eventually grow into the bigger ones like TD Ameritrade or E-Trade. So this video is mostly targeted towards the people that are just starting out and want to know which brokerage would be best for them. With that being said, let's get into it. So the first one on my list is probably the most famous just because it's been in the news like crazy lately with the whole GameStop scandal, and that is Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is an app-based robo-advisor that lets you create an account and then invest on that account. And really the only two accounts that Robinhood will let you have is a standard brokerage account that just lets you buy stocks or a retirement account like an IRA. Now, when signing onto this app and when logging in, you'll see that it is very, very user-friendly. Everything is real easy to navigate, real easy to find, and really gives you a sense that you know what you're doing. But my issue is that they want you to pay for their gold platform, which is $5 a month. And aside from the margin and other aspects of it, the only thing worthwhile, in my opinion, is the advanced research that comes with it. So when you're looking at a particular stock, let's just say Apple. When you're looking at Apple on Robinhood, it'll show you a little bit of the metrics that people use when determining if they want to invest in that company. But if you did sign up with gold, you'd get even more advanced metrics than that. And that will really help you decide really if you want to hold this particular stock long term or not, and whether or not it's really worth your time to invest in. Now, Robinhood was pretty much the pioneer in zero commission investing, meaning every time you buy or sell a stock, you don't pay a fee. Up until Robinhood, that was a very common thing. If people wanted to buy, sell, trade, whatever it was, they would have to pay trading commissions. But Robinhood was the first robo-advisor that said no more commissions on trades. Now, the downside of Robinhood is that it only lets you trade on companies that are listed in the New York Stock Exchange. If the company is not listed in the New York Stock Exchange, then you are not allowed to invest in it. And to be even more limited, Robinhood only lets you invest in equities and options. They don't let you invest in bonds. So you can buy a stock, you can buy an ETF, and you could buy options. And you can also buy crypto, but I wouldn't recommend you buying cryptocurrencies on Robinhood because if you read the fine print, you don't actually own those coins. So if you wanted to like roll over your crypto investments from Robinhood to a different account, then that you would actually have to sell all of your positions and then move that money and rebuy in somewhere else. You can't actually roll over because you don't actually own the cryptocurrencies that you're investing in. Two more big flaws with Robinhood is that their infrastructure is just not that well set up. So if you look back to the 2020 crash when everything plummeted and people were trying to sell all their positions to avoid losing a bunch of money, Robinhood actually froze up and people weren't able to access their accounts, and they're currently in a lawsuit trying to figure out who's to blame, whether it's the investor or Robinhood the app for not having the infrastructure to handle all of that traffic all of at once. As well, the other downside that I mentioned is that their customer service is just terrible, and it usually takes days, if not weeks, for them to get back to you after you try and email them a question or even call them. No one really picks up and you're left waiting on hold forever and a day. The next robo-advisor I want to talk about is probably the next most popular, and that is Webull. Now, personally, I really like Webull, but I think there's some pretty big flaws to it, which makes me more hesitant to recommend it towards new investors. So as an example, Robinhood let you invest in fractional shares. So if you wanted to invest in Amazon, but didn't have the thousands of dollars it takes to actually buy one whole share, on Robinhood, you could put in $100 or less and still own Amazon. It would just be a fraction of one share. Well, Webull doesn't let you do fractional investing, so any company you plan on investing in with Webull, you have to have the full amount in order to buy all the shares you intend to buy. Now, a couple big positives when it comes to Webull is that it is still zero commission, so you're not paying commission on any of those trades that you want to do, and you can gain access to all that advanced research that Robinhood offers you, but on Webull it's free of charge. So whereas Robinhood would have you pay the $5 a month, Webull won't. Webull just gives it to you because They're nice like that. But the same flaw that Robinhood has of limited of investing is true with Webull. With Webull, you're not just limited to things on the New York Stock Exchange, but you are limited to exchanges that are based out of the US. So that's things like the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ and so on. Any company that's not listed on a US exchange, you can't invest in with Webull. And the exact same options that you have with investing with Robinhood is also true for Webull. With Webull, you can only invest in stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptocurrencies. But unlike Robinhood, where you didn't actually own the cryptocurrencies, on Webull you do. So if ever you wanted to transfer all your assets from one robo-advisor to another, you would actually be able to transfer all the cryptocurrencies that you own on Webull. Now, this next robo-advisor is in no way for beginners. And I know with the disclaimer I said in the beginning of this video that this video would be tailored to beginner investors only. But the reason I want to put this next one in there is that it has probably some of the best options I've ever seen. So if you really wanted to make investing like a hobby of yours, or maybe you're thinking about becoming a trader and you just don't know where to start, then Interactive Brokers is probably one of the best options for you. Now, they're more designed towards advanced or more skilled investors, not necessarily beginners, but all the resources they have to educate you, as well as their customer service, is outstanding. You could be on the phone with them for hours and they'll just be telling you how to do everything, how to research everything, and how to operate their site and their app. Same thing with all the free research. They have advanced metrics, way more advanced than what Robinhood or Webull even offers you. And with Interactive Brokers, you're not limited to just US traded companies. You have access to global exchanges, so you can invest in a bunch of different companies, a bunch of different currencies, and so on. But because they're full service, giving you access to pretty much every type of investment out there, there are some times where you have to pay fees. As an example, with Interactive Brokerage Lite, it's very similar to Webull and Robinhood, where every time you trade a US company or option or that kind of thing, they won't charge you any fees or commissions on that. But if you're going to invest in mutual funds or bonds or a company that's based in a different exchange, like let's say a China company, that's where you'll accrue some of those fees. But even though they're not 110% free, those fees are honestly very low considering what the average fee used to be before all these robo-advisors started taking over the market. Another great thing about Interactive Brokerage is that unlike Webull and Robinhood, where they only let you open up regular brokerage accounts and IRAs, Interactive Broker will actually let you open up custodial accounts and trust accounts. So you can set up an investment for yourself and your family, and if you have any children or nieces or nephews, you can actually set up a custodial investment account for them and invest for them. That way, when they turn 18, they have a good chunk of change saved up for whatever they might use it. Now, Robinhood let you invest in fractional shares, but Webull won't. Does Interactive Brokers allow fractional shares? Yes, they do allow fractional shares, but they won't necessarily allow it right out of the gate. You have to get established and start investing or start depositing money and then enroll in the capability of fractional sharing. The same thing goes for if you wanted to invest in mutual funds. You have to already have an account, deposit money, and then request to enroll in the ability to invest in mutual funds. Now, really, when it comes to Interactive Brokerage, there's only two big flaws that I see with it. One is that it is not user-friendly whatsoever. If you opened up a Webull or Robinhood app and got used to that and then tried to transfer to Interactive Brokerage, you would have a headache for days unless you decided to call their customer service and spend hours on the phone with them learning how to handle their particular app and how they constructed their trading platform. So it is not user-friendly whatsoever, but if you're just starting out and don't know anything or how to read graphs or anything at all, then maybe you should consider opening up an Interactive Brokerage account and then using your time to call customer service and get as much help as possible so that you can learn how to work its complicated user interface. Because once you do that, you have a way more access to investing than you would with Webull or Robinhood. But the huge downside that Interactive Brokerage has is its inability to really set up helpful portfolios. So what I mean by that is that if you wanted to set up a portfolio for your IRA and have it have 10 different stocks weighted at different weights, well, you can't really just create a portfolio and then put those stocks you want into that portfolio. Like I said, it's not that user friendly when it comes to that kind of stuff. So what you would have to do is just create an IRA or a brokerage account or whatever account you want to create. Choose all the stocks that you want to have in that portfolio or account of yours. And then when it comes time to rebalance them, whether you do it quarterly like I do or whether you do it every year, it doesn't really matter. When it comes time to rebalance that portfolio and make sure all the investments you're investing in this portfolio are at their equal weight, when it comes time for you to doing that, it's not as easy as just clicking a button that says rebalance. You actually have to go into each stock, figure out what the percentage is, what you want it to be, and then sell a little bit off the top. Like, you have to do everything yourself, and that I'm just not a huge fan of. So the next robo-advisor that I want to talk about is M1 Finance. Now, M1 Finance is basically, in my opinion, the exact opposite of Interactive Brokers. It's similar to Robinhood and Webull, where it is extremely user-friendly, probably even more user-friendly than Robinhood or Webull is, and it is extremely easy to use. But M1 Finance has some pretty big flaws that you have to work through in order to be successful investing or in order to be comfortable investing on their platform. As an example, M1 Finance is designed for portfolio building and long-term investing. They don't really offer you the capability of trading like Robinhood, Webull, or Interactive Brokerage does. And although, yes, you can create a portfolio, you can rebalance the portfolio with ease with M1 Finance, you can't actually trade. So if you think a stock is going down, but pretty soon it'll be going up, you can't really do a quick turnaround investment like that because there's only 1 or 2 trading windows that M1 Finance gives you access to. The trading windows are either 6 in the morning for your standard M1 account, or if you pay the heavy fee of $125 a year for the M1 Plus account, you also get trading window at noon. Now, quite frankly, I think it's ridiculous to pay $125 to get more access to this account, especially when you factor in you don't really get a lot of benefit with an M1 Plus account. The only time I would ever recommend getting the M1 Plus account is if you wanted to do a custodial account for your kids, nieces, nephews, something like that. The only way you can do a custodial account is if you had the M1 Plus account. But like I said, it's almost the exact opposite of Interactive Brokerage. So although Interactive Brokerage does have advanced researches and that's completely free and great education, M1 Finance has decent education, and their customer service, I would say, is like so-so. It takes you forever to reach somebody, but once you do, they're actually very helpful. Now, another way M1 Finance is the opposite of Interactive Brokerage is that it is designed for portfolio building. So right when you sign up, it has you create what they call a pie, which is really just a portfolio. And in that portfolio, you could put a bunch of different stocks or ETFs in there. Now, M1 Finance won't let you invest in bonds. In fact, the only robo-advisor that will let you invest in bonds that I've listed in this video is Interactive Broker. M1 Finance won't let you invest in bonds, but you can always invest in a bond ETF. It's almost the same thing. So M1 Finance will let you create a pie and then designate which percentage or which weight of each fund or stock in this pie that you want to have. So you could have 50% Apple, 50% Amazon, 20% Apple, 80% Amazon, or a bunch of different stocks all weighted at different amounts. Really, the only rule is that you cannot have more than 100 stocks in each pie, and each pie has to be weighted to equal 100%, obviously. Now, if you decide to go with M1 Finance and create this pie for long-term investing, what they do on how they help you with rebalancing is great. They help you rebalance with literally just a click of the button. Once you press rebalance, they're going to sell some of your stocks that are high and use that money to buy some of the stocks that are low to make your portfolio exactly at the percentages that you selected when you built this pie. So let's break down these 4 robo-advisors and really decide which options are best for you. It's my opinion for long-term buy and hold investors that are going to be in the market for a minimum of a year should go with M1 Finance for their portfolio and rebalancing capability. Yes, the advanced research that all the other robo-advisors give you is great, but you could easily do that research yourself with Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, or investing.com app. So the advanced research metrics that all the other robo-advisors give you is great, but it's really just a commodity. It's not necessarily dire or exclusive to those apps. For long-term investing, M1 Finance is the best to me because you can set up automatic deposits, automatic trades, automatic sells, automatic rebalancing. You could pretty much make it as automated as possible. So you could treat it like any other bill, and on X day, let's say the 5th of the month, $100 or more is going to come out of your account and be automatically invested into the portfolio that you set up. But if you're here because you want to trade, or you just want to buy a couple stocks that you think are interesting, or for any other reason, then truthfully, I would go with Interactive Brokerage over Robinhood or Webull. And that's simply because if you're brand new, I think it's great that you would go to the most advanced platform out there and really learn, especially because you don't know anything anyway. It's when you go to Webull or Robinhood or any other robo-advisor and you learn how that particular app or website works that you start developing habits, whether they're good or bad. So while you're brand new and the slate is clean, if you decide to learn the advanced metrics that Interactive Brokerage has, then you'll be set up for extreme success. But remember, they are terrible when it comes to portfolio building and rebalancing. So if you want to do something long-term, go to M1 Finance. If you want to do something short-term or dabble in day trading or even swing trading, then I definitely think that Interactive Brokerage is one of the better options for you. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's more important for you to create an account and sign up and start investing with any robo-advisor than it is to really nitpick on which one's best and which one deserves your time and money. Especially because most of the time, all these robo-advisors are gonna be free commission, so they're not really gaining any money off of you anyway. So if I could give you one recommendation throughout this whole video, it's that it doesn't even matter which platform or robo-advisor you use, just start today. The key to investing and compound interest is the time your money has been in the market and not how much money you actually put in the market. That's why if you do your Googling and if you do your research, you'll see that a 22-year-old investing $25 a month into the market is going to be worth more in the end than someone who's 45 years old investing $1,000 a month into the market. And that's because all that money that that person invested in when they were in their 20s has grown astronomically in the course of their lifetime. So the three takeaways I want to reiterate is that M1 Finance, in my opinion, is the best for buy and hold long term. Interactive Brokerage is the best for day trading or swing trading or short term buy and sells. And absolutely start today and do not procrastinate, because that is how you earn compounding interest and see massive gains in the long run. I hope you got value from this video, and I hope I helped encourage you or decide on which robo-advisor is worth your time. If you did get value, please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps the YouTube algorithm. But until our next episode, have a good one.